guys, Stephanie here with mahalodotcom. You know, good financial sense is important for all of us. It's also important to instill into our teenagers. And Vanessa is here with Radical Parenting to talk about how we can do this.
So I think this is one of those things that you can actually sit down and have a money talk with your kids. I wish that schools did it, but a lot of schools don't have anything with budgeting or, home finances. So it's really important. It really rests on the shoulders of the parents. What I recommend doing is sitting down and explaining basic terms. What's the difference between a checking account and a savings account? A debit, prepaid card, credit card. And then actually taking them with you to the bank and meeting the teller and looking at your financial statements. Don't necessarily show them what's in the bank, but showing them what that looks like so they can actually see that this is something real that they could do later, so they get comfortable with those terms.
Should you open up a checking or savings account for your child?
I actually highly recommend doing a matching program. So what this is you actually open a small savings account at your local bank for your child and have them see the teller and know how to do things, and then say to them, here's your allowance every week. I can take half of that allowance and put it into your savings account. And that way you can actually start putting things away for a bigger purchase. That sort of teaches them the idea of always taking things aside and not always having your money to spend. And also showing them how they can deposit gifts and holiday cash and all that stuff into the bank account teaches them sort of how to budget and save.
Should you teach them how to fill out a check?
That's something that you can do a little bit later. You might want to, do a little sample check and then void it for them to see. I always think that doing activities with them around finances, everything from starting a little jar when they're younger to actually having them look at their financial aid application when they're applying to colleges. I mean, all of that stuff is really important for them to see. A lot of parents say, I don't want my kids to know about financial hardship. And that's something to think about. If you're going through debt or if you're having some financial hardship in your family, do not be ashamed about it. I think it's actually really important to talk to your kids about it and be very solution oriented.
Yeah, and that's the big question too. A lot of parents get nervous about, well, how much should I let my child know that we have? I mean, if you're a multimillionaire, should your child know this? Or if you're in debt, should your child know this? I mean, what's your school of thought on that?
I think it's always good to be honest. If you're in debt, to say, okay, we're having some financial problems, but here's what we're doing to fix it. Or if you're having a great year and you feel like you're doing, so we're having a great year, we're going to take a vacation, but that doesn't mean that we can't go volunteer, and it doesn't mean that we shouldn't be saving money. That way you're sort of teaching them that it's always good to be on the safe side, always.
Yeah, and then humility too, because if they are very wealthy, you want to teach them humility and
absolutely. That's the hardest thing to teach, and if you have it, if you model it, your kids will get it too.
Good point. All right, thanks Vanessa. Great advice as always.
Thank you.
Now, if you'd like more information about any of the topics discussed, you can go ahead and click on any of the links. You can also subscribe to Mahalo Parenting or go ahead and send us an email at requests@mahalo.com.